This is a trigger warning for the following episode since we speak about mental health, so we will be speaking about some sensitive topics. This is also a disclaimer that we use some dark humour and bad words as well, so if this is not the podcast for you, you can scroll on, but if this sounds good to you, come in. Just before the episode starts, we need to say a massive thanks to the guys at Umi, and if you don't know Umi, then do you know anything? Umi is a dairy restaurant based in the Strand Road. It is an award-winning Japanese and Asian infusion restaurant, and they serve everything from the most incredible sushi to the best steak that I have ever tried. The atmosphere here is just so chill, and the house beats in the background just make everything so much better. Me and my son go here weekly, and it is just worth every single penny. They also have their own unique self-made wine called Rainbow Pie, and this is also exclusively sold in Umi. So you really need to check this restaurant out. It is just up there with the best. And again, thanks so much to the guys at Umi for sponsoring this episode. Without this sponsor, this episode wouldn't be possible. So this is going to be an express podcast because you're a very, very busy man.
Yeah.
So in your own words, who is Shaun Todd?
I mean, that's a question I want to know too. Is he coming? Is he joining us on the pod? I don't know. I ask myself all the time.
Shane,
oh, my
do you know
cousin.
what is wrong with me? I'm fangirling.
Right.
Do you know the way you wear your light body?
Yeah.
This is happening, so I am so sorry.
If you don't think I've been called Shaun for 36 years, I get called Shaun all the time, and I actually never correct people.
I don't either with mine.
You know what I mean? I never correct people, but I have got Shaun a lot. But I don't know who Shaun Todd is. I can't answer that
Let's
question.
forget about him now. And so do you know Shane Todd?
Yes, a lot better than I know Shaun.
In your own words, what's the crack we have? Like, who is Shane Todd then?
Stand-up comedian. I'd say actor, but I audition for a lot of stuff and don't get it. I haven't done enough acting to say actor, but I do say it on my website.
Right.
Podcaster.
Right.
I can say that. Amateur boxer. Undefeated amateur boxer. I didn't say it. Someone shouted that out. Undefeated amateur boxer. 2-0 retired. But yeah, I do a load of different stuff, but mainly stand-up comedy. And then I've done like radio bits, wee bit of acting here and there, stuff like that. Right. But I would always say comedian first. Stand-up comedian.
Have you ever chat GPT yourself?
Absolutely.
To see what it says?
Absolutely.
Can I do it right now fast?
Yes.
Right.
And I do it with Alexa all the time.
Shane Todd.
Every morning.
Shane Todd net worth.
Oh, the net worth's going to say net worth's going to say 3 million. My Google net worth is 3 million. I know it's mental.
That's not true. Is it true?
No, it's 5.
5,000?
Yeah.
Podcast online present is sketches have garnered millions of views, contributing his wild personal life. Can't wait to get into this. Yeah. Shane Todd is married to Stacey Todd. He is a supporter of Man United. I love how that's in your personal life.
Yeah.
But we're going to get a wee bit deeper into that.
Yeah.
Personal life, is that all right?
Yeah. Oh,
let's start back.
It's a deep well.
It's God. Right. Well, remember this is an express one.
Yes.
All right. And I'm very limited on diazepam.
Right.
So try not to let it too dark for me.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. What was life like for you as a 18-year-old Shane Todd? Did you go to?
When I was 18, mm-hmm. So I left school when I was 16. I never wanted to stay on in school. I was told basically that I wouldn't get back. School in not like a rude way, but we're basically like when I was doing my GCSEs, we're like prepare for life after school basically.
Right.
Because my mock GCSEs were so bad, but then I got the amount of points by one to get back in, and then I just didn't go. I was like, what a move that is. I'll show them, but they didn't care. They were like, we didn't want you back anyway. No. So I went to tech, and so when I was 18, I would have been at tech, and I loved that. Like that was brilliant. Just even like not wearing a school uniform, I just felt, and I went to an all boys school, so I felt when I had girls in my class and I'm getting the bus into Belfast every day and just having that more freedom and independence, I felt way more comfortable as a person and all that kind of thing when I went to tech. So when I was 18, I'd have been going to tech.
What did you do at tech?
I did media, moving image. So it was like production, communication. So it's basically filmmaking, editing, wee bit of writing, advertising, all different stuff. And I wanted to be like a behind the camera person.
Right.
Camera person, people call it. I wanted to do that or be a writer, but then we would always need someone to be in our short films that we made.
Yeah.
So I would always just volunteer to do that because I realised I wasn't great with the technical side of cameras.
Okay.
So I ended up,
Even though you studied it.
even though I studied
You
it,
were so shite at it.
I ended up being in the things more.
Aye.
So that's probably where like acting and performing
Yeah.
came from me. But when I was 18, I started stand up when I was 18.
So
I think.
it's something you've always wanted to. Well, you
Yeah.
said you wanted to be behind the camera, but then when you started being in front of it, did you think, oh my God, I could make a career, or I could start doing this? Did people started liking you? And
Yeah, I'd probably always have wanted to do it. Like when I was growing up, even like drama or school plays or anything, I never would have had the confidence to go and put myself forward for that. Even like audition for anything, I couldn't have done that.
back
I was
then.
in the school choir.
Right.
Shout out to all the rest of choir boys, but
Aye.
me and a couple of boys were in the school choir, and
You rapping at the back?
yeah, I could do that because there was loads of us,
Aye.
and I actually wouldn't always sing out loud. I just mime
Aye.
because I just enjoyed being in the
Would
choir.
you ever release a song?
Would I like seriously release a song?
Well, I mean, like a half jokey, half
Right.
for like
Here's why I wouldn't.
charity or something.
Here's why I wouldn't. I would do it as a joke, and then I'd get too into it and start
Aye.
to believe that I'm a singer.
Aye,
'Cause
Michael Bublé or something.
there's a thing that they say all stand-ups want to be rock stars, and all rock stars want to be comedians.
Really?
Yeah.
Talking about comedians like us right now, do you watch Diary of a CEO, or do you listen to it?
No, that's wee bit.
Next question.
I mean, I know what it is. I know what it is. I've seen clips from it.
Aye. So Jim McCure was on that.
Yes, I listen to that. I don't regularly listen to
Yes,
it or watch
okay.
it, but I did
Aye.
hear the Jimmy Carr
So
episode.
in his episode, he said somewhere along that, like, all comedians have like underlying depression of some sort, and that's why they try and be funny, because they want to be accepted. Usually they want accepted by a parent. What do you think about that?
There's probably a lot of it. Like a lot of comedians do talk about depression and things like that. I don't think it's the case for everyone. Like I think probably like 99% of people, you want your parents' acceptance,
Yeah.
but that was never a motivating thing for me to do stand up. My love of stand up was just the reason I did stand up is because I just loved stand up. You know what I mean? Like nothing. It's not that I wanted to prove something or I wanted to change my relationship with anyone. It was literally just I love that. I wonder what that would be like. Could I do that almost? So it was more of a personal thing for me. But I do think a lot of comedians have especially in our part of the world, do have like there's a wee bit of a darkness there. But I think that's our humour for even people who don't do stand up. In this part of the world, we do joke about really dark things.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I probably feel like I've always had my parents' acceptance.
So that's good that, that they really liked you.
They like me, yeah. I think they thought I was dead on.
Did they still like you?
For the most part, yeah. I think I'm all right. They call me they'd be like he's a mate. You know what I mean? Like he's not a mate, but I know him. You know what I mean?
He's 5 million net worth.
Yeah.
We like him.
No, they were very much like go and do what you know, try and get the best qualifications you can, and then go and do something that you want to do. So even when I said I was going to maybe jump ahead a bit, when I said I wanted to go full time at stand up and leave as working in the call centre, when I said I wanted to go and do that, they were very, very much like, yeah, do it. But also I have no plan B in terms of 99% of comedians have a big qualification, or they're like, oh, I was a lawyer before I did this, so I can just go back to that.
So you do fallback.
There's nothing else I can do.
Sign on.
I did sign on for.
Oh, actually?
Oh yeah, for like a year, when I was doing like open mic gigs and all that sort of stuff.
So you were doing the double then?
No, I wasn't doing double because I was getting unpaid for gigs. Open mic does not get paid.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Fact. Cash in hand.
Fun fact. Going back to dark humour, I am such a dark humoured person. I've went through so much shit, and I really struggle to talk about it in a serious way. Like, I spend time in a psychiatric unit. I will laugh about that time and tell people how funny it was, but it was fucking hell at the time. But I think you're right. Irish people in general, that's just the way we are. But if I was speaking to, say, someone in England or America, they would look at me and think, you need to go back to the psychiatric unit.
It's also the way you joking about it can make it easier for other people around you too, in terms of the fact that you're able to go, listen, this is a terrible thing, but it's something I can joke about. It almost relieves tension around you, because I know so many friends of mine, not just comedians, but if they're going through something or whatever, if they're letting you know, like, I can joke about this, when you're able to take the piss out of someone for something or join in on a joke, people, it's a relief for them.
Aye.
There's a bit of a release. Obviously, you've got boundaries there.
Yes.
Maybe there's stuff you go, I don't want to joke about
Aye.
that, but I have a mate of mine who does stand up, and I was doing a tour a couple of years ago, and he was opening for him, you know, doing 20 minutes at the start, and then he was experiencing some issues, not having a good time, so he said, look, I'm going to need to leave the tour, so no problem. But we did a roast for a friend of ours, like in front of a live audience, and me and him were just back and forth joking away about that, and then we chatted about it, and he was like, look, that really helped.
Aye,
that we
that's
were
good.
able to,
Aye.
you know, joke about it, and we
Aye.
still do joke about that all the time.
I was on Shaun, you know Shaun McComb?
Oh, yeah.
I was on his podcast last
Right.
week, and I was trying to be serious because he's so unserious, but I was trying to
Yeah.
do it,
Sean's one of the funniest guys I know.
but I was trying to put him under pressure because I know he can't be serious, so I was like, I tried to commit suicide, and I looked up and this is him, and he literally could not fucking breathe. And he's like, I am so sorry. It was all, that's hilarious. And I was all, I suicide. It's fucking so funny. I could be thinking about it. So that's what I mean. He was saying to me, I'm so sorry. I'm so glad that, you know, you're so dark humoured because like you just don't know. Like I could have got up and jumped the bridge after he'd done that. But it was kind of like an icebreaker.
And that's what you're trying to do with stand up is some people, I guess, doing stand up are trying to do that for themselves. Maybe they're going through something and stand up is their way to forget it. But also the great thing about when you do a good gig and you walk away from it, say I'm doing the Millennium Forum on tour or something. When you have a good night, you go, there's probably a load of people in the audience who tonight's a distraction for something from them, whether it's like 1 hour out of the house where they forget about what's going on at home. And that's brilliant too. When you get that message of like, listen, I'm having a shit time at work, but that gig tonight helped. You know, so being able to joke about dark things is brilliant. That's the way I was brought up. Was very, I would have been kind of like raised a lot of time in my granny's house, just because all my
such an Irish thing, isn't it? Being raised in
all my
house.
family lived in the one street. In a place called White City in Hollywood. It's as you drive in Hollywood, there's sort of one council estate in Hollywood.
Right.
So everybody would have gone. That was like the base of everything. You went there. You got on your bike in the morning, just went down there, and weekends were there. But people would joke about the worst things. And if you wore the wrong thing or a physical defect you had or whatever, nothing was off the table, and it was brilliant. Tears in your eyes, laughing. And nobody ever took it thick. I can't remember anybody taking anything thick. And I love growing up in that environment. There's times where you were just getting it from everyone, and you're 12, 13, you know, and someone's talking about your braces or whatever. But I think that helped me with stand up, and that even like there's nothing my mates could say to me that I would go like, that's out of order, really.
I get
whatever it is, like we can joke about it.
Do you know what one of my favourite things to do is kind of fucking weird now actually, as I'm saying it out loud, is reading my own trolling comments.
Right, yeah.
I don't get a lot.
Right, yeah.
But they're always from men. And older men as well. And I do enjoy it. I do enjoy them roasting me. Mostly about how I look. But I remember one of them said something like, you know, I was saying like, oh, I went through a divorce and blah, blah, blah. And someone wrote, your husband left you because you are fucking unbearable to live with. And I felt like, is this my ex-husband?
Yeah.
How do you fucking know this? What's the worst? Do you even read troll? Do you even give a shit? Like, do you care?
I mean, you see it a little bit. Do I care? No, not passionately. I mean, it does nothing to my day. Or now, when I started, it was totally different. Like it would have killed me a little bit inside. So it was like, but then when I started social media, it was not around really.
No, because you are going about, is it 15 years?
Like that? 17, 18 maybe.
Because I remember watching you on YouTube. And you were a literal child. So young, like.
Yeah. But back then, and you maybe don't know yourself as well as a person. You don't have that confidence, that kind of thing. One comment, like you could have 100 positive comments, one negative one is naturally it's the one you're going to focus on. So it would have you would have got really like conscious about, you know, if someone pointed something that would really be in your head. And then you almost like then shape what you're doing based on around the negative
that
comment.
One comment
instead of everyone being like, I want to see more of this. So
it would nearly hold you back. That comment, wouldn't it?
Or make you beware. Should I be putting stuff online? But I think because I do stand up too, I've had it in person
That's what I was
with heckles
gonna
and
ask.
all that kind of stuff.
How do you deal with the heck? Like, how do you deal with that?
You know, I gotta say, the last good few years of the tour, there's very, very little of it.
I've
There's
noticed
very
that
little.
watching. You're very good at.
I
If someone shouts out, you're very good at dealing with it.
well, I think if when people know that, people know like that's not what the show is. The
Yeah.
show isn't like a crowd work thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to, I will, you know, but I prefer to just do the material.
Yeah.
So, but I love like when I say I go, I'm doing Lavery's Comedy Club or something, I'll and I'm working on new material. Well, I might just in between bits, I'll speak to somebody in the audience, and I love the back and forth, that kind of thing.
Aye.
But when I started, like a heckle would, because you're so nervous about your set, it was almost like a monologue. Instead of stand up isn't just to me like reading a prepared speech that you have. It's about you change things as you go and you feel it out. But if someone shouted out, you know, your shit, it
could you clean off?
you don't know what to do.
Aye.
You know, and then maybe 2 hours later, I should have said this, I should have said that.
Yes.
I think you get way better as time goes on.
Did someone shout out your shit once? Twice?
Oh, more than 20 times probably. People would like, oh, I have done the worst gigs. I think people who start stand up now, and it's not their fault, don't know how lucky they are that the gigs they're doing are brilliant.
Right.
But I feel, or maybe everyone feels like the gigs they did at the start were the worst.
Yeah.
But we would drive and just do every town, village in Ireland. We've done a gig in, and they were terrible. A lot of them. Some were brilliant, obviously, but
they were paying to come and abuse you then.
Yeah, or
That's
like
weird.
people. There used to be a thing that's way less of a case now, which is good for new comedians. But you used to get, I feel like a lot of gigs, they wanted the comedians to do badly. They'd have preferred it was a bear pit, is how I would describe it. Whereas now I think audiences are more like wanting a good show, wanting the comedians to do well. But yeah, look, I see some negative comments. Maybe like yourself, I don't. The proportion is not much at all. I don't.
No.
I would say I get away very lightly with not much trolling. Sometimes I'd interact with it in a funny way, but a lot of the time, I think you'll still see the odd notification, like someone's commented on a video from 2023. Once I put a video out, an hour after, I'm probably never going back to it.
Yes.
Because you just don't have time to be scrolling through comments. You know, you're thinking about the next one you're going to upload or whatever. So once that's up after an hour, that's dead. Like I'm never going to see that.
Have you ever said a joke or told a story or anything that you regret it? That nearly cancelled you, maybe? Or again, do you not give a fuck about anything?
Oh, like I definitely wouldn't want to say something and then lose out on work for it or any of that kind of thing. Like I'm not an edgy comedian. Like every comedian's made jokes where you might, especially if it was written down on paper, you'd go, oh my god, but in the context of a night, it's different. There's nothing really that jumps out. You can be clumsy and say the wrong thing. Like I remember material, I was doing a couple of years into stand-up, and the promoter got an email saying that it offended somebody in the audience, and I took it way too. I was like, I'm done. But that was one person out of 300. But then you can't tell people what they can and can't get offended by. But and again, not being an edgy comic, but still, if you make a joke about something, somebody in the audience is like, well, I have a personal connection to that, and you shouldn't be joking about that. Well, then you shouldn't be going to comedy clubs.
That's what I was going to say. I think people going to comedy clubs should be very open-minded.
Yeah.
And not get offended because...
And understand that what we were talking about earlier, if we're making jokes about it, we're trying to put a spin on it and get people laughing about it.
We're not doing it to annoy anyone. Well, sorry, you're the comedian. Sorry, you're not doing it to annoy people or, hurt people.
But then if you're offended by that, why are you not offended by this other thing, you know? So then we can't joke about anything. But I never set out to like offend one person in the room. It's naturally probably going to happen at times, but yeah, there's never been like a particular thing where I've gone, this is making people angry or anything like that.
Well, that's good.
My stuff's more like silly.
Yes.
And the joke is hopefully always on me as opposed to an individual or a group or anything like that.
I love that. Can we get a wee bit personal now then?
Of course.
So you're married?
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Jesus, I feel like I say I'm joking in case people think that I'm not joking. But so how did you meet then? I love a good love story.
We're friends of friends. Went a couple of nights out and just knew each other kind of, and then years later, met in a night out and got chatting, and that was it.
That's so fucking boring.
It is. I am one of the most boring guys you'll ever meet. The expectations that people have.
I would say so.
When you do stand up, especially like I don't really drink. Like I drink very, very rarely.
Aye.
But when you do stand up, especially when, you know, if I go to America and they're like you know, the Irish comedian coming over, the green room will have, and it's just me doing the show, you know, Guinness, other local beers, all this kind of stuff. They'll ask you, like, they're like, do you want weed? And like, you can get rid of all that and put almond milk in.
Aye.
I brought my own tea bags. This is it. I want to go back to the hotel and play Football Manager on my Mac.
Aye.
People, when you do stand up, people think you're mental.
They probably think you're always so bubbly and outgoing and ready to talk, which I'm not saying that you're not. But
I'm
like,
not. No, I'm not.
When
I'm not outgoing.
Everybody.
I don't want to be
approach
out.
This guy.
I don't want to be out past 10.
No,
it freaks me out being out past 10.
Aye. But
no, but just with late night gigs and all that kind of thing, and I'm on Google Maps. What time will I be on it?
Aye. See, I'm very much the same. I have really bad social anxiety, but because you have a podcast, people just assume that you're confident. But I'm okay like this because it's just me and you. But any more than a group of 5, like I will die. Like I will just remove myself.
I'd be nervous doing like, if I had to give like say like a talk to people about like
a
stand up or anything like that, and it was in a room like this, I'd be real nervous.
I was on a podcast this morning as a guest, the Big Massive podcast.
With Ro?
He actually asked me to ask you something. Okay. I wrote it down. Answer your fucking phone.
This is an issue.
I said, it goes, why is he writing back to you? And I was like, don't know.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. I was like, no, he's coming on. Like, it's all for mental health. Like, I don't know what you're asking. He's like, WhatsApped him 4 times. That's like, I can pass on the message. So,
Speaking of mental health, that's aggressive from him. I used to speak to him about just calming it down a bit.
I did. We had a full on hour. I got him in a straight jacket.
Rose good. I'll come and do boiler room soon.
Aye. Is that what he's asking me for?
Yeah, boiler room so bad.
That's why you're not answering. Yeah. You're too busy.
No, I'm going through a time of like trying not to do it. I'm doing as little stand up now as possible.
Okay.
So I never know. People go like, what date would be good for this? There's no good date, but I feel bad about saying there's no good date. So what I end up doing is just taking too long to figure out a date. And then that's worse than probably just going, I can't do this. I find it so difficult to say like I can't do something. So I always try and figure out a way to do it. But then the solution would be I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I'll.
Well, I mean, a man with 5 million in his bank, why would you want to do stand up anymore?
Exactly.
Why would you? Why are you out of the house?
I know. I'm not here. I'm actually a hologram. I'm at home. I'm not anywhere.
You're AI. You're
anywhere. Human AI.
Sorry, we went off on one there. Back to the family. You have 2 kids as well.
Yep.
Quite young, are they?
Yep. 2 and 4.
Oh, so they're wee babies then.
Yeah, I don't put them out there.
No.
Really at all, like social media or anything like that.
No.
Talk about parenthood a little bit in stand up, but yeah, I try like. I totally respect and appreciate anybody who does, but the kids don't like. I've never judged that in a million years, but I just like having, you know, coming home and having
your private life.
Yeah, exactly. And also like, I wouldn't want my boys to turn around in 10, 15 years and be like, why were we online? If they didn't want, I don't know.
No, that's totally.
I think from the start, I always just kind of was.
Because I didn't actually know you had children.
Yeah,
because you don't ever post about them. So whenever I was doing my research, I was he has 16 children.
Yeah.
And he did not say.
Yeah.
But
I talk about it in stand up.
Because children do give the best. The comedic
value and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Like I remember, like my wee boy, he's 9 now, and he dements my life. It's just me and him. And I remember about a year or 2 ago saying to him, you know, I started letting him walk to school, and the school is 2 doors away from our house. Right. Not even, it's 2 doors away.
Right.
And I was like, so what do you do if someone drives up and says, I'm your mummy's friend, come into the car? And he's sitting looking at me and he goes, oh, I'll know they're lying because you have no friends.
Right. Perfect.
And I thought, You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I have no friends.
Yeah.
If they have sweets though, get on and bring me back some as well.
Yeah.
So how has becoming a daddy changed you, or has it changed you, or?
Oh yeah, I think it would have to change everybody in some ways. It's funny how things you thought were priorities before, you just don't even think you know are nothing.
Like what? Give me an example.
Everything work, everything. I still obviously like work as I love. Like I do my dream job and I love it, but you know you would maybe stress over things a bit more, or you're trying to gig all the time, gig as much as possible, and then you have that fear of what if then when I have a family I'm able to get out of the house less or whatever, but you realise that like, oh, I don't need to be out gigging 7 nights a week, you know. I can, and nothing's going to happen if I don't, you know. But probably changed me a lot. I feel like I know myself better or something, if that makes sense. Like I feel like this is like being a dad is almost like, oh, that's me. If you know.
So
what I mean.
have you always wanted to be a daddy?
Yeah.
Because you would often hear about the woman always wanting to be the mommy,
Yeah,
but you
no,
don't really
always.
hear about the men saying, I'm dying to be a daddy. So
Yeah.
you've always wanted to be.
Yeah, always,
be a daddy.
always.
Oh, that's
wanted
lovely.
to. I know, but never like, it was never a, like, oh, I want to do it quickly or anything like that. I was like, when the time's right.
Because you're my age.
36.
And your kids are like 2 and 4.
Yeah.
So that in Ireland anyway, that's really old.
Yeah.
To start a family, isn't it? Like
But
my sisters were 16.
Yeah,
They
but
were
then
having children.
But then people like, I'm not a advice parent either in terms of like when friends of yours are having kids or whatever, overloading them with advice, because it's so different for everybody. And some people, you're ready to be a parent when you are 18. It just suits you, or you're 21 or whatever, or way older. But like around the age I was, like that was just the right time for us. But it was the middle of COVID as well, so it was a bit of a mad time.
So how do you? Because I know you said you are pulling back a wee bit now, work-wise, even though you're still absolutely flat out.
Oh, but not for family, just because I finished the tour about a month and a half ago.
Oh, so you're just taking a wee bit of a break.
Yeah, and you need to like, I don't know, you need to get the materials, you need to be in everyday situations, whereas when you're touring, it's the same day. Every day is the same day. So you need to have time where you go on trips and you have your summer holiday and all that kind of stuff, hanging out with your friends, and then
get your material.
Exactly. So I'm leaving a bigger break this time.
So how do you juggle being a husband and a daddy when you are, say, full on tour mode and you're traveling and stuff?
I travel less than people think. Right. So people would always say to me, like you said when we're walking up there, you're flat out, because it can look like when you put a world tour poster up, people assume that from the first date to the last date.
But it's kind of sporadic, isn't it?
It's very broken up.
Yeah.
And I also like to be away for like the minimum amount of time possible. So I don't like. Right. I don't drink, don't party. I go do the gig and then just I'm good. Like I like an early night. I want to go home. So the tour's kind of spread out because I don't want to be away. I'm gonna have to be away a bit, but I don't want to miss things, and I don't want my kids to. There's jobs where you just simply have to be. You have to be away. Yeah. I want to figure out a way where I'm supporting my family and doing my work, but I'm there. You know, and that's why like in between. This is a real busy, like long busy week for me. Yeah. And it's just shocked to my system, but this is normally what it's like. It's just I've had a month and a half there where it's almost like being in summer holidays. You know, picking the kids up every day and doing all that stuff. But I probably it doesn't feel like a mad juggle. You know, my week usually looks to see like we're podcasting the same day every week. Kids go to football on Saturday. Like I'm a big like routine person as well, so I'll probably juggle it with a routine.
Do they know how famous you are? Or are they too young yet?
No, they don't know. No. My oldest son knows that I do something. You know what I mean? Like he knows that my job is people come and see me do jokes in a sometimes
and he probably thinks you're the most unfunniest person ever, does he?
No, I'm at that sweet spot where he thinks I am. But then
Right.
I know that it's coming where he won't think that.
Aye.
So I'm just appreciating this bit at the minute. You know, when like, you know, he thinks I'm like, I think he thinks I'm a cool guy. Like
Right.
even like when I'm, you know, we're singing in the car, he hasn't really seen like proper live singing yet. So still like them, I'm probably the best singer in the
Aye.
world.
Well, you're dropping an
Aye.
album, like.
To be fair, I am actually.
Aye,
pretty
so
good
there
singer.
you go.
But
Aye.
no, I think I'm probably at that critical point with him. So I just hold on for as long as possible.
Aye. See, I'm kind of the opposite. I don't know if it's a mother and son kind of thing where I really think that I am a cool young mommy.
Yeah.
My son asked me recently, was I alive when dinosaurs were a thing?
Right.
You know, so I'm kind of not. I need to get Botox and all, I think, at this stage.
Yeah.
And he says things like, you know, what have you got on work-wise today? He thinks he's my husband as well. This is what we'd be having at the breakfast table. What have you on today?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm actually being paid to speak for 15 minutes. And he goes, people pay to hear you speak.
Yeah. No, but sometimes you need that.
Like,
Because you're going to do it.
Biggest trouble.
Yeah. Maybe it's him on the accounts.
Do you know what? Aye. It is because the spelling, the grammar and all, aye.
No, obviously, it's like at times it's hard to juggle everything. And I'm saying there about like not texting someone back about a gig.
Aye.
That's the downside of it. Like sometimes you feel like you're letting people down, or like admin and brutal on.
But I think people need to really respect like people, not just you, but I mean like people who are busy. Like I didn't like to message you. Like I messaged you back in January, and then the message that you seen.
Yeah.
I actually said, sure, I'll go and shite myself.
Yeah.
Because you never wrote back for 5 months. So I hounded you for 5 months.
You're in a request folder though, so
I know.
I didn't see it, you know.
I didn't realise there was a request folder.
Yeah,
and then I went on the Minds already.
But I've been on the opposite side of that hundreds of times. Like,
oh, you
asking
reaching
people
out?
to come on my podcast, yeah. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the thing about like, I need to get better about like my admin, because you can still be like some of the most busy people in the world can reply like that.
I know, but like we're not all like that. And when I did message you and say, shall I go shite myself? I looked at your story and you just broke your hand, and I thought, fuck, I feel so bad. He's also got a broken hand, but also come on my podcast.
Yep.
Do you know, we have an all day.
Yeah.
You mentioned.
You also told me it was an 8-minute drive. It was 16.
Did you try it yet?
It was about 12. It was about 12 minutes.
So we'll not argue.
Yeah.
We'll not argue then. We'll meet in the middle there. You mentioned as well, I don't think it's really spoken about much, about having Crohn's disease.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what that is. Anyone who's listening, what is Crohn's disease then?
Do you know
How does it affect you?
I mean, it's probably part of my personality, but I describe it very badly because I don't know loads about it.
Right.
And I promise I'm not saying this to try and like be funny. I also don't know how to spell it.
Crohn's?
Because I don't like look it up or anything. Yeah, it's either C...
H. It's a silent H. There's no need for the H.
Yeah, but it either starts with that or CRO.
Aye, so it depends, isn't it?
I don't look stuff up. See, if there's you know people who like Google if there's something wrong with
Oh my God, I do. I'd be like, I am dying.
Never. Because everything says you're going to die.
Aye.
No matter what it is. You're like, I have an itchy wee toe. Google will be like, well, congratulations, you're going to die.
Your wakes tomorrow.
So when I got diagnosed with it about 10, 11 years ago.
Right.
It's an autoimmune disease. You have it for life, but you can ideally just like manage it. I had lost like a load of weight, and I just didn't feel good. I was feeling like I got a pain in my stomach. They thought it was my appendix. Took my appendix out, and then they were like, "Banter, wasn't your appendix."
And we've actually sold it in the black market as well.
Yeah. So I then got a diagnosis of that. I think a couple of people older in my family had it or have it.
So is it genetic?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I'm just basically like, I'm quite laid back and relaxed with a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I accept reality instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always try and do that. You know? So when they told me that's what it is, I'm like, right, well, I know that's good that I know that. So like, let's
You're
see
not going
what we can
mad.
do about it. Yeah, exactly.
There's something.
Or like, oh, what if this or what if that? I go, this is what the situation is. So what am I going to do about it? So I mean, it was a wee bit scary, but other people were more scared. You know.
Right.
I was like, look, I go into everything like with a positive.
Aye.
Try to like positive like.
Aye.
Let's go. So I was like, what's the best thing I can do here? So did research and that kind of stuff, like not on Google, like proper like,
Yeah.
research, and sort of saying like the cleaner sort of lifestyle you can lead, the better. So did like loads of like trial and error with my diet and stuff like that. So
Aye.
boring stuff, but like I avoid like gluten, dairy,
Yeah.
alcohol, sleep for like good block of sleep,
Aye.
exercise every day, try not to eat like processed foods and stuff like
Aye.
that. Like so it changed my life massively.
For the better.
But probably for the better, yeah.
Aye.
And I take medication for it. I inject myself like every 12 weeks or something like
Oh
that.
wow, I never
Don't
knew you
ask
could
me
do
what
that.
it's with. I don't know what the drug
Could
is.
be
but
heroin.
Could be, it literally could be anything. The same, mate. I go like this, put it in the
And then they're
plastic
ringing you.
bin.
Sorry, we got your
Send
prescription
you the
mixed
wrong
up. You
thing.
did not
Yeah,
take that, did
it's
you?
estrogen.
If you want to say the tats.
So yeah, so I love Pecs. I keep putting this thing in my thigh, and so far like I'm feeling alright. But yeah, who knows? Something I'll always have, but it
Aye.
just means I need to like manage it and all
Aye.
that kind of stuff. And luckily at the time, when it felt like a lot and it was a huge change, and I did feel very. I'm a very like optimistic person. I'm positive, and kind of the way I was brought, like everything's a joke.
Yeah.
To me, for the most part, I can be serious, of course, when I need to be,
Aye.
but mostly it's a joke. But the good thing is, when all this happened, I was able to get up and do stand up, so I was able to talk about it, joke about it, all that kind of stuff. So that really helped. Stand up is a great, as much as the audience can come and have a laugh and forget what's going on, you can do that as a performer too. So I was able to,
Aye.
yeah, talk. I did a show about it and it felt great.
Just a full show about Crohn's.
Most of it was not specific about the condition, just like what it was doing to me, you know, and what
Aye.
it was and that kind of stuff. So but it was great.
So
to
that's
do.
nearly going back to the whole dark humour thing. So it's not
Yeah.
awkward for you and it's not awkward for everyone.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those class I can't wait cards
So,
for the bathroom? No.
no,
I can't wait.
that
You don't
side
get
of it,
that?
that side of it isn't me really. It's more.
okay.
It more affects me with like fatigue.
Oh right.
Right. So it feels like it did before, like I changed my diet and all this kind of thing. And then I had a post-viral fatigue thing as well. It just felt like a hangover for a long time.
So you
time.
felt like a constant hangover. That's what started the.
No, this was after. This was once I got diagnosed. Once
Right.
I had my first flare up.
Okay.
It's a post because I had it was like a virus really for like 2 weeks. I was in hospital, and then I just felt tired for like a year.
Oh my god.
And felt like no energy to do things. And what did affect me was probably like the weight loss, because I would be like a naturally slim guy,
Aye.
and then I lost maybe 2 stone, maybe a little bit more, and that physically was like, because I'm very vain, so it
Really?
was tough.
You mad about yourself?
No, not really. Like I do. Friends of mine would go, "You always look in the mirror if we pass a reflective surface," and I'm like,
Who doesn't?
I know, but I'm like, I'm just looking to make sure I don't look bad. I'm not going, look at you.
You are.
Sometimes you do.
Aye.
Like, you got the right outfit on.
Aye.
But most of the time, I'm like, are we all good here?
Aye.
You know?
Aye.
It's not like that. But I do take pride in my appearance, kind
Aye.
of. So when I felt like really skinny and I felt like I looked gaunt, that was kind of tough. But then that just made me go, this will be great when I turn this around.
Aye, so that really affected you. Your weight affected you mentally as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, oh yeah.
That's crazy, because just today when I was talking to Ronan Boyle, he was saying his weight has really like hurt his confidence his whole entire life,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
still is right up. Do you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
But he got the gastric sleeve.
He did, yeah.
We spoke about that.
Yeah.
So I was like, but like how are you putting on weight? And he says, oh, I found a cheat code. I can eat as much sweets as I want
Yeah.
because it's not like heavy for
Yeah.
and milkshakes and stuff.
Yeah.
So that we were having that same conversation. He was like, some days I look in the mirror and I think you're a fat bastard, and then other days he's like, oh, I'm a skinny queen, you know, it just
Yeah.
But again, we often think that this is only a female thing, that weight.
Or that it's like that it's only overweight that would knock your confidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not okay. Like, last month when I was going on holidays, I was training a wee bit more and eating a wee bit less because I was going on holidays. I was going to Dubai and I wanted a sugar daddy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, we all do.
Do you know? So, but the amount of people that came up and said, "Oh, you're way skinny.
Yeah.
You know, you're too skinny," or you know, and no one told me that when I was fat.
Yeah,
No one came up and said,
yeah,
"No,
yeah.
lay off the burgers. You're
Yeah,
a bit
yeah.
fat here." But because people associate being skinny with,
Yeah.
you know, that's a positive thing.
Yeah,
But sometimes it's not. because
Yeah.
we knew two skinny queens.
Yeah,
Don't call us skinny.
So my next show's called. But yeah, no, no, 100%.
Please do.
Yeah, I would.
Open for you.
But that did knock my confidence a wee bit, but it was maybe a period of about 6 months. Once I started being able to exercise again and got the diet thing under control and started putting a bit of weight back on, it was fun.
Aye. Well, you look great now. You look great for your age. I had a Google your age because I was like, I can't work out.
I've got a bit of material about this at the minute. I could be anything between 19 and 42.
This is what I said. I was like, is he really old? Is he really young?
Yeah.
I don't know. But you're like 2 months older than me, I think.
I'm June.
Aye, that because I know everything about you.
Right.
I do. I'm fangirling still.
Yeah.
So do you get Botox? Do you know Shaun McComb got Botox before?
I know he got his face done with some
Botox
laser type thing. But no, you mean like the injection?
Aye, he got full on injection.
I would never like.
Rule it out.
No, I wouldn't not rule it. It wouldn't be for me, but I would never like. If anyone said they'd done it, I would never like judge it, like a male friend or anything.
Aye. Well, you're lucky you look young for now anyway.
I mean, I'll get on WhatsApp as soon as it's done and rinse them for it, but no. I
say it in public. I get myself.
I totally get why people do it. It's like guys having a hair transplant.
Aye.
And people be like, would you not be scundered? I'm like, no.
Scundered is a word that I learned.
Different and
yes, isn't it?
There, yeah.
Aye.
And mortified, embarrassed.
I'm mortified because I was in the Royal for 6 weeks. I broke my back, and so I was trying to get into the lingo with all the people there, and the girl said something. No, I said I'm scunnered. I was fed because I was fed up being down there.
Angry in there, is it?
Scunnered. I'd say fed up, scunnered, annoyed, fed up.
Right.
So I said to her, look, I'm really scunnered. I just want to go home and fed. I just don't want to be paralysed no more. And she goes, why are you embarrassed about it though? And I was like,
yeah.
What do you mean? And she goes, oh, we say scundered.
Yeah.
So there's a language barrier of some sort.
Yeah.
But I suppose you're used to it now, with the travelling. And are you from the same area as Shaun?
No, I'm from Hollywood.
I don't know what that means.
It's a town outside Belfast.
Oh, okay, because his accent is very hard.
Yeah.
Isn't it, to understand?
Shaun's very west. Like,
oh my God. He is the King of West West?
Yeah, no, Hollywood is it's 5 miles from Belfast, but you feel like you're a million miles away.
Is it a
growing up?
Wee bit posher?
Hollywood is very middle class town. Not all of it.
Like Hollywood?
It's probably I would say when you drive in. So you've got the main town centre. When you drive in, you've got the council estate called White City.
Right.
And then you've some houses there. Drive in, you got the town. When you go past that, especially down by the water, you have some of the it maybe is the most affluent area of Northern Ireland.
Okay.
So but the great thing is, the stereotype of Hollywood would be that it's all millionaires and that kind of thing. It's actually Hollywood's a bit of everything, and it's also I would say it's a very integrated town.
Right.
And a thing you wouldn't really appreciate at the time, but now that I'm older, I do, is growing up. If we went out in a big group of mates when we were 12 or 13 or whatever, I had boys in Celtic gear and Rangers gear in the same group, and it was never an issue. It was never like, isn't this mad? It was just that's just the way it is. That
is my fear of Belfast, because obviously I don't know the difference of west, east. I don't know anything about anything.
Belfast is a different place now.
I'd be afraid, in case I don't know, did I say Derry or Londonderry? You know that kind of way. Will I get jumped when I'm there?
Yeah. Aye. See, I don't know if I'm wrong. You'll be able to tell me, but I feel like Derry, Londonderry is a huge a big taboo debate everywhere, bar Derry.
I just always say Derry because that's just the way.
So as a stand-up, if people are on stage, not in Derry, in Belfast for example, and they say either Derry or Londonderry, it'll get a response from the crowd of them being corrected. Whereas I've been gigging it here for 14, 15 years, come when it was Masons and Magazine Street. That's one of the first place outside Belfast I would have gigged. Right. I've never heard it corrected here. Ever.
I think we're all just so fed up of it.
Yeah.
I think
I would say scundered.
Scundered.
Lingo.
We're so fed up. I know.
But yeah, what I mean. Oh, going back to the Botox thing. When guys get hair transplants or Botox or anything like that, I haven't, but I would I totally get why 100%. You would. I totally get why you would.
Because girls sometimes be like, he gets a hair transplant, but you also have extensions.
Yeah.
You know,
but and look, you go through looking crazy for that couple of months where
Aye.
it's all like you got the hairline and the dots and all that.
Aye.
But then you're really confident.
But I think it's amazing that people can get what they want. Do you know what's kind of scary me at the minute though? Every girl is starting to kind of look the same.
Right.
Aren't
Yeah.
they? A wee
Yeah,
bit?
yeah,
Like
I know
not
what you mean, I know what
here,
you mean.
not here. But I mean, like if I'm on my FYP page or whatever,
Yes.
like it's very like the eyes
And
and,
then
then
that-
the nose and
And then
everybody.
kids see that on social media and they go,
Aye.
I've got to look like that. But yeah, I mean,
They all look the same.
I say like I can be a little bit vain at times, but then I also like, I would never want to, I don't think, do anything.
Aye.
You know, like,
I'm going for rhinoplasty next month, which is a really, really fancy word for a nose job.
oh, okay.
In Belfast,
Right.
we get it done. So it's something that I've wanted done for, I think I was about 12.
Right.
And then I got it broke twice. My sisters just had enough of me one day.
Trying to do it cheap.
I tried to get on the NHS and they were like, no, you're
Yeah.
not depressed enough over it.
Right.
Like, so try and kill yourself.
And you were
over
like,
it.
I'll show them.
So I stood at the bridges, I'll hit my
Yeah.
nose. Still never worked. So I have to pay privately for it.
Right.
But because my business is scents,
Right.
I need my sense of smell. So it's kind of like,
So tax it off.
I have a nose like a sniffer dog.
Right.
I'm afraid to ruin my sense of smell.
Yeah.
So every consultation I keep saying to this man, please don't touch my smelly things.
Yeah.
Olfactory smell things you call them.
Yeah.
And he was like, in all my years of doing rhinoplasties, I've never lost any sense of smell. So what do you see me being the 1%?
Yeah.
And then I'll lose my business and have to sign on.
Yeah. I'm getting a grace, but I like it.
Are you?
Yeah, you can't tell. Every time I see them, I go get a skin fade.
Oh, aye.
Botox, like, but they're coming. But that's
But
just
like
part of-
you're 36.
Yeah.
I know some boys who are 21 and they like have no hair.
I know.
So you're very lucky. They
Yeah,
look so
yeah.
young. And
My dad has a good head of hair. If I hold on to his age, it will help.
do you want to hear a fun fact? Your hair actually comes from the molar side.
See all that stuff? I don't believe it.
Well,
Because then I
Google
would be full bald. Because my mum and dad was bald when he was like,
but is your mommy bald?
no.
No. So it comes from her? No, no. I'm not
Sounds like one of
convincing you,
those
are you?
things. No,
Or am I not?
don't know. Probably not for everyone. It doesn't come from her.
No. Well, I mean, you look great.
Thanks.
I'm fangirling.
I'm enjoying her.
You've great hair.
See if it went tomorrow, I couldn't complain.
No, you would.
I could no.
You
I couldn't.
would.
I would say we've had a great run. We've had a great run.
Right, well, let's wrap it up.
We'll do 10 minutes.
Right, what do you want to talk about? Ask me something. Who's your favourite comedian? Apart from me. You can't say me now because...
My favourite comedian. I don't watch loads of stand-up.
No.
Does that surprise you?
I don't watch comedy at all. I love true crime.
Nah, not for me.
See,
I don't like heavy stuff.
I fucking love it.
I see if I just like light stuff now.
Aye.
See
Well,
at this age,
We
there's too
listen...
much going on. Like,
When me and the staff are
get Keegan
downstairs...
Tell on or something.
No, that's years old.
I
You
know,
still
but-
laugh at that?
I don't. I haven't been on years, but
You know?
I just mean I want something silly. I don't want
Aye.
see all these ITV dramas.
Okay,
My
I know
wife
their
will read
shit.
out the description, and I'm like, that sounds harrowing.
PC such and such arrests PC all, and you're like, no, PC, no, I don't want to watch that. But me and the girls down in the warehouse when we're working, like Wayne's in a sheen factory, we listen to you. Well, they choose you. They listen to because they like the lightheartedness, and then I would always say, right, my turn, and then I put on true crime, and they're like,
Right.
fuck me, they're going home taking diazepam.
Yeah.
But I remember one night I was on here on my own lit, and whoever was last out didn't lock the door, and the lights were off, so I was out in volume 1,000, and I was making away, and the girl was like, and then he decapitated her body and had sex with her head.
Yeah.
And I looked and there was a customer and she's all, are you open? And
Yeah.
I was like, that was an ad
Yeah.
that just came on there.
Yeah.
So no, I do love true crime.
Not my thing.
That's how I unwind
I
at
don't
night.
watch dramas. I don't watch anything.
So what do you watch? What's your porn?
I just watched. What did I just watch? The Mobland.
All things like that.
That's as I'll go.
What about Top Boy? Did you watch that?
Love
it's very,
Top Boy.
it's
Love Top
very
Boy.
UK, isn't it?
Created and written by a guy from Belfast,
Oh, no way, who?
Ron Bennett.
No way, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I loved Ashley.
Yeah, actually was.
Never knew he was on Sociology.
Absolutely.
I DM'd him.
Did you?
Yes. Not to come on the podcast
Did
to
you?
say, I really fancy you, just.
Right.
No, I didn't. I can't remember what I said. It wasn't about coming on the podcast.
He
Something
didn't
like,
reply.
a bit like yourself. I'll reply, I'll message him in a few months ago.
Do you know what I would
Months ago.
follow it up with next time? Be like, I'm on the bridge. That's
Come and save me, or
that's
this is blood on your
way,
hands.
That's way more likely to get a reply.
Top Boy season 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
Save the
fuck
jet.
me.
Yeah.
Hold on, actually. Hi, Ashley. Photo and all.
Yeah.
Me on the bridge. That's horrific. So
Think
you
we
don't...
have to cut this out.
No, we keep everything. Because usually, like, see if a boxer or someone's on here, I would always say, is there a boxer that you grew up and aspired to be or whatever?
Oh,
Is there
you
any
know
comedian that you ever looked at and thought, I like his style?
I got to watch loads of stand up really young. Like my dad would have had stand up on all the time when it was on TV or maybe videos and stuff, and I would swearing was weirdly. I was able to watch anything with swearing in it when I was a kid.
Right.
But I don't, I swear very rarely in my act. I do a bit. A lot of people think I'm like clean. People even come and see me or like, it's good that you don't swear. I was like, there was 10 swear words and that.
I am
said.
such the opposite. I'm surprised my son doesn't swear because
Right.
I'm so bad.
Right.
But I don't know why. I'm a hellion.
But I would have watched loads of like Def Jam comedy, like Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, all that kind of stuff. Black American stand up mostly.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor would have been like my favourite comedian.
Well, they're very cursy.
Yeah. And then honestly, I don't even know who like my go to is. I like Dave Chappelle, I like Bill Burr. But I'll watch. I don't watch loads of stand up. But what I do watch is like a big range. I wouldn't have one comedian I go to straight away. And I would have watched loads of sketch shows growing up.
Yeah.
As well, mostly.
Aye. The way I watch comedy is like shorts.
Yeah.
Because I find it hard to listen for the full. That's just my attention.
Yeah,
anyway.
so does everyone. Even
Aye.
like the specials that go out used to be at least an hour. Now people are 35, 40 minutes.
Aye.
So the time is going down. But I think it'll go the opposite way eventually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think all these things kind of come and go a bit
Aye.
and the trends reverse. But
Do you like Matt Rafe?
yeah, I like what he's doing.
Comedy.
No, I like how big he's got.
Yeah, he's got huge.
Yeah.
Isn't it? This is what I mean. It's kind of half what do you call it? Luck.
Yeah.
As well, isn't it? Because he said that he used to post every single
Yeah,
day
yeah.
and get 1 or 2 likes, and he still went. Fair play to him. I love that.
I would say like
And then he got one viral,
yeah.
and that was him. Set for life.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't throw his stand up on, but I've seen
No.
plenty of it and enjoyed
Aye.
it. But yeah, I think what he's done for himself
Aye.
is unreal. Like.
So I like his wee
And,
shorts.
and I met him
Oh, no way.
at a guess 3 years ago or something in a club in LA called the Improv, and me and my mate Niall were there, who's a videographer, and Matt Rafe introduced himself and said hello and all that kind of stuff.
Class.
And we were just obviously visiting over
Yeah.
from Ireland. And this was before he'd blown up.
Yeah.
So it was a night. I remember then when I saw him blow up, I was like, oh, I remember he introduced himself to us and asked us our names and all that kind of stuff.
Aye. So
Which-
do you follow each other and stuff?
I probably follow him. He does follow me.
I was going to say, go and message him myself.
Yeah.
I'm really single. I'm
Rap
coming
at the
across low-key
Him and Ashley Waters tomorrow. Get another seat in.
Imagine. No, do you know what? I say all this, but I can't bear men. I've been single for 2 years and love men. But as long as they're not near me, talking to me, you know what I mean? Too busy.
Right.
And I'm getting old. I'm like you, I'm going straight home to bed now.
Yeah.
On my sleepy tea.
Yeah.
And my true crime. So we're going to wrap it up now. If I like people, the guests are giving a wee bit of advice. So for your advice, it would be for someone who is looking to do maybe stand up or, something on social media, but they haven't got the balls to do it, or they're scared of what other people might think. What would your advice be to them?
I do get like quite a few DMs of like I'm thinking about starting stand up and something like that. Like what should I do? With the social media side of it, I feel like everyone's doing it, so like you can do it. You know, it's not like stand up. People aren't going to be amazed that you're starting it.
Yeah.
Start it, but find what you want to do, and don't just do what you think people want, or don't try and do something that's going to go viral. Just if it's a comedy thing, just find your sense of humor, put it out, and see if people do come to that and like it.
Aye.
But then when you're young, it's hard not to be what you think people want you to be.
Yeah.
So, but if anyone was thinking about trying stand up or anything like that, I would always say like, go and do it on like the QT. Don't bring all your mates and your family.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that where like someone brings 30 people to a 50-seater gig, they kill it because it's people who know them and they're talking about the. I remember my night out with him and it's killing, and then you go to a gig where you don't know anyone. You're like, why is this stuff not working? So I would say, as well with stand up, I always think people can jump into it a bit too much in terms of, putting on a big solo show.
Yeah.
Or booking a tour really early into it, and I'm like, go. The best time is when you're doing 5 minutes and 7 minutes, and people don't know you. There's no pressure on you. So when you're then in between maybe two established acts, and you come on as someone who's brand new and you blow them out of the water.
Yes.
People are like, who's that person? So.
Really good advice, actually.
So to me, it's all just like, it's so hard to do, but like take your time.
Yes.
Don't just, and if you're putting up stuff and it's good, and you're not getting a certain amount of followers, or this person has more followers than me, like if that's your motivation.
That's not the road to go down.
You're not going to succeed. Like,
no.
If it's good, and people will eventually come to it, just hold your nerve.
That's brilliant advice, and thank you so much.
No problem at all.
It's been.
Thanks for asking me.
It's an honour. I don't say that lightly. Like I've been. How excited have I been?
No, I when you throw the message out there and you're like, and we didn't know each other, and you're like, come down and do this. I've had that where I've tried to get people on the pod.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if they'll see it or whatever.
Yes.
And then when they do it,
you'd be so excited.
So you gotta do it back. So I appreciate
thank
it.
you so much.
No problem.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. That's a wrap. Take your clothes off now.
Thank you, guys.